In 2015, something happened that caught the world completely off guard. Pope Francis released an encyclical, basically a long, formal church letter, called Laudato Si. Now, you'd expect such a document to be about prayer, morality, maybe theology. But this one, it was about climate change, pollution, and protecting the environment. And it went viral. World leaders quoted it, climate activists praised it. Even people who had never stepped into a church shared its message online. It sparked headlines like, Pope Francis becomes the world's moral leader on the environment. Here's the twist, this wasn't some brand new agenda. It was Catholic social teaching, a set of principles the Church has taught for over a century, applied to one of the biggest crises of our time. See, most people think the Catholic Church only talks about spiritual matters, faith, prayer, morality. But Catholic social teaching says faith can't be locked inside church walls. It's supposed to shape how we build society. That means topics like workers' rights and fair wages, the dignity of every human life, the responsibility to care for the poor, the duty to protect the earth. For some, this is inspiring. For others, it's controversial because it challenges the way politics, economics, and even personal lifestyles work. Catholic social teaching has its roots in the late 1800s. Back then, workers in industrial cities were being exploited, long hours, unsafe conditions, barely enough pay to survive. Pope Leo XIII saw this suffering and in 1891 wrote Rerum Novarum, of New Things. He didn't just tell people to pray for the poor. He told employers to pay just wages, governments to protect workers, and society to prioritize human dignity over profit. That was radical for its time, and it still is. Here's where the tension comes in. Catholic social teaching says we must care for the poor, the environment, and the vulnerable because of our faith. But in our world, those issues often get trapped in political battles. For example, speak up for migrants and refugees? Some call it politics. Talk about environmental protection? Some accuse the church of being too progressive. Defend the unborn and demand health care for all? People don't know where to place you on the political spectrum. And that's the thing, Catholic social teaching doesn't fit neatly into left or right politics. It calls everyone to change. Therefore, Catholic social teaching is not just some dusty list of rules. It's a living framework for how to love our neighbor in practical, concrete ways. It says, every person has God-given dignity, whether rich or poor, native or immigrant, healthy or sick. We have a responsibility to care for the earth, not as a political act, but as a moral one. The economy should serve people, not the other way around. When Pope Francis spoke on climate change, it wasn't because he was following trends. It was because the same moral law that protects life in the womb also protects the rivers, forests, and air that life depends on. And here's where it gets personal. It's easy to think, well, that's nice for the church to say, and then go back to life as usual. But Catholic social teaching is meant for all of us, not just politicians, bishops, or activists. It's about the choices we make every day, where we shop, how we treat our coworkers, what we do for the poor in our neighborhood, how we care for creation in our own backyard. It's about bringing the gospel into the voting booth, the office, the market, and even the dinner table. So the next time you hear about the church getting involved in global issues, remember, it's not stepping outside its mission, it's living it. Because if our faith doesn't change the way we live in the world, then it's just words. And maybe that's why Catholic social teaching is so surprising. It's not here to comfort the comfortable. It's here to call all of us, rich or poor, left or right, to a higher standard. Not just to build a better church, but to build a better world.